Hey, first grade, we are continuing on our trip across the United States. So go get your My America and My World book if you don't have it already. And we left off on page 56, and we are going to be going to the state of Colorado. You know, that team there that I can't say the name, because I just, what team is from Colorado again?
The Broncos?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that team behind you?
Who put that there? First graders? Did you do that? I think somebody's behind that. Well, yes, it's the Broncos that live in Colorado. All right. Well, our next stop is the Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado. Here we see some of the highest mountains in the United States. We learn that Native Americans once lived there. We could see many animals in the park, including bighorn sheep. And then we're moving over. Like I said, we're going quickly here because we fortunately did get to see lots of your pictures and souvenirs before we left. And you can certainly still add some as we move along. So we are going to move over here to Arizona. Oh, and that team. They're birds. Yeah. They're in our league. It's the Cardinals. All right. So now we will stop at the colorful Grand Canyon in Arizona. The rocks change color as the sun shines on them. You will hike or ride a mule down to the bottom. Which would you choose? Would you rather walk down yourself or ride a mule? That's kind of it's a cross between a donkey and a horse. I think I'll take the mule, thanks. Did you know that there are Native Americans who live in the Grand Canyon? The Havasupai and the Hualapai tribes have lived in the Grand Canyon for many years. The Havasupai farm and plant orchards along the southern rim of the Grand Canyon. If we follow the trail made by the Havasupai, we will see some beautiful waterfalls. So if you haven't been to the Grand Canyon, you'll need to take a trip there sometime. But if you have been, I would love to see your pictures. Right, turn the page, 258. And the Hualapai live on the western side of the Grand Canyon. And some of the Hualapai are called river runners. These brave guides take visitors on boat rides down the rapids of the Colorado River. As we stand on the skywalk of the Grand Canyon and look down, the greatness of this huge canyon makes us think of our great God. Just think only He could have created that. Beautiful colors and beautiful rock formations. And then we're moving on to California, to the Death Valley. So far our trip, we have seen flat land and many mountains and lakes. Now we will see something completely different, a desert. A desert is a dry, sandy place. It is very little rain. A desert is beautiful in its own way. And I've got some friends here with me to help me out that I know would live in the desert. So we have our turtles that would live where it's dry. And then I know you guys got to see this friend, but I'll show your parents. What else might you find in the desert? Remember our little friend? Just like Allie would tell us, don't ever poke a rattlesnake who's sleeping in the sun. I don't recommend it, unless he's already like this. All right. And then move on to Yosemite National Park on page 60. Our next stop is Yosemite National Park in California. Standing in Yosemite Valley, we look up. Yosemite Falls is beautiful. It is one of the highest waterfalls in the world. All we can see are mountains all around us. El Capitan in Yosemite Valley is one huge mass of rock. In Yosemite, on page 61, we can see huge sequoia trees. Some of these trees have names. One is called the grizzly giant tree. This tree has a branch that is 7 feet wide. That's even longer than Mrs. Olson's arms. Another tree has a tunnel through its trunk that you can walk through. It is called the California tunnel tree. And I brought one more with me, the chandelier tree. This one is, I think, the one that fell down actually, but you used to be able to drive through it, right? And there are many black bears in this park, as well as many other kinds of animals. We can go fishing, skiing, hiking, or horseback riding. There is so much to do and see. So this isn't that far. This is just, it would maybe take a couple days to get there, but just down in California. All right, let's move on to this place, called San Francisco, and oh, you know, there's a team there too. They're kind of funny looking. They're kind of a gold and red team.
The 49ers?
That's who it is. See, I can't say it, but that's who it is. That's right. San Francisco is a large city in California. We don't have any problem finding something to do here. We can cross the Golden Gate Bridge, one of the largest bridges of its kind, because it's hanging. It's called a suspension bridge because it's hanging on these wires. Again, this isn't that far. So someday, hopefully, if you haven't already, you get to go visit San Francisco. We can ride the cable cars up the steep hills. Clang, clang, clang. We can go to Fisherman's Wharf. Here we can see fishing boats or eat seafood, like Jace loves. In Chinatown, there are thousands of Chinese and Japanese Americans. We can visit their shops and eat Chinese food. Lots to do there. And not that far from home. And then finally, we are moving on to closer to where we live, over by on Washington and Oregon, California on the coast. That is by the Pacific Ocean. So now we are going to finally visit the Pacific Coast. I know that was a quick trip. Like I say, we did cover about 32 or 33 of our states here. So if you still have not showed us any of your souvenirs or pictures, go ahead and post those in the reply for this assignment so we can enjoy your pictures too. And you'll see some pictures that Mrs. Olson posted when she went to a few of these places. We traveled along the Pacific Coast in California. Steep cliffs seem to rise out of the ocean. Do you see the waves beating on the rocks? We have just begun to see America. I say it's 50 states and some territories. It's huge, but the more you've been around, the more I'd like to see your pictures, please. Maybe you can think of some other places to see in our country. Our land is so big and beautiful that it takes many trips to see it all. So we did what we could in one trip. And we thank especially God for our beautiful America. And then this is a perfect page for these times. It says, God promises to bless anyone who will follow his ways, just like our Bible verse says in Psalm 1 also, to follow on the right path. If my people, which are called by my name, still humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sin, and I will heal their land, found in 2 Chronicles. So we will continue to pray for America as well as the other countries, but we can also just be thankful that we live in such a beautiful land. All right, and this wraps up our trip around the United States, and next we will be traveling around the world. That'll be exciting too. All right, over and out.